All right, everybody. Back at it here. Um, it's been a freaking crazy week. So, I think I've had like probably the worst week I've ever had at work. Not that anybody was doing anything, but lots of breakdowns and um, just stuff messed up, really. I mean, just yeah. But we got through it. I'm on the tail end of a cold. I'm getting a lot better though. I feel like I still have just like a little bit of a cough left, but it's pretty much gone. Yeah. So, and then did all right with the appliances. I'm up to 127 subs on that YouTube. So we're still climbing. We climbed up, a little bit slower this week than normal. Than last week, I feel like, but that's all right. All right, so I sold all my stuff last time before leaving. Let's go check the lost loot machine real quick, though. Yeah, it was an all right week. I got another job to do today. I think I was talking about I was probably talking about this really hard job that I had where this dude's vent tube was so clogged up that like no airflow was going out of it. So his dryer vent tube in his house, I probably pulled pounds of lint out of it. I'm not even exaggerating, just like handfuls and handfuls, So I went over there on Thursday to finish it off, and they wanted a new washer, so I brought them a washer. So I've put 2 heat coils in this dryer because, and of course, like I didn't charge them for the second one. So they called me for the first one. I went over there, diagnosed a bad heat coil and a bad thermal fuse. So I replaced the heat coil and the thermal fuse, and then basically, where in the hell am I even? How did I get out the back? Basically, so about a month later, they call me. They're like, "It did it again. Can you bring us a new dryer?" And I'm like, "Well, the dryers that they have is kind of bulletproof. These dryers just don't. They have their issues. They do. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like, there's just not. It's not your dryer. I'm like, there's something else going on." So I go down there. I'm like, let me check it out and we'll see. I'm like, but you probably don't need a new dryer. It's probably better to just fix the one that you have, because whatever is happening.
Some creatures are pets. Others want to rip the skin off your face. We're having trouble with the latter kind.
Like whatever is happening, it's just gonna do it again. You know what I mean? If I just fixed this thing a month ago, and I go down there, of course the coil is just like completely burned up. It's like it's only a month old and it's just garbage because it's just been sitting in its heat. So it's grounded out again, and so I put a new coil on it, and I'm like, we've got to address this, and I start doing the airflow tests and stuff, which I should have done the first time. From now on, I'm going to airflow test every single machine ever because I've had this issue lately. And I know it's just like it's probably just God teaching me the lesson to airflow every single airflow test, all of them. And I need to get an airflow tester. I know I talked about that on the here. I looked them up. They're pretty cheap. I can just buy one. And, I just need to buy one and make some attachments or get an attachment that I can just put on these machines so that I can get a consistent, reading. Like what I would really like is something that will go into everybody's hole, at the end of it. It doesn't really matter though. You can put it at the beginning or the end because basically you're gonna, see similar results. But I mean, I don't know. I could just hold it up to the end. With this dude's, like, you would go to the end of it, and we couldn't even tell which one was the end because we would turn the dryer on and nothing would come out of any of them. Like, You know, you barely see, like, not even, just no airflow. And I'm sitting there telling him, he's like, well, you can kind of see it moving. And I'm like, I think that's just the wind out here blowing a hair around that's just hanging out the end of his thing, you know? I'm like, I don't think that's your dryer. And like, I don't know if he really believed me. And even when we got done with the whole thing, and there's like clearly air coming out of it, I don't know if he still believed me. He's like, I don't know. But so anyways, I'm sitting there and I get the brush tool, right? And this is like the first, like, I've done this once before on somebody's situation, but I didn't really go that deep into it, and I didn't really need to. Theirs wasn't completely blocked. It was just a partial block, enough to cause an airflow code on an LG. Because, you know, these new dryers, well, some of them, they have airflow sensors in them that's sensing the airflow all the time, and basically with this particular case, that LG would just stop working because it's like, not enough airflow, I'm not drying. You know what I mean? Like, it just coded out and stopped running altogether. But apparently Diablo updated. So I start brushing out this dude's thing because I don't know what I'm doing, you know? And like, he knows I don't know what I'm doing. I told him that, but I'm kind of his best bet. I'm not charging him very much at all to do this. And, you know, but basically the idea is that I'm charging him a little bit. I'm going to get the job done, and I'm going to get the experience. You know, that's what we're doing here. And he's not really having to pay, but he's got to deal with me learning on his stuff. It's not his stuff. He's a renter, so he doesn't really have a lot to lose, anyways. And it sounds like his landlord doesn't fix crap. So it's just the way it is. You know, it's the way this is gonna happen. I don't want to refix that dryer again. So basically, I'm either doing this or they're hooking it up to some other vent system. You know, I'm gonna go get them one of those freaking bucket things that you can get. But the problem with that is that it's kind of a small apartment. They're just gonna be dumping heat into their place. You know, and apartments, they get hot. So, you know, he didn't really want to do that either. But I can't just keep putting heat coils in it every 2 months. Like, yeah, if this heat coil goes bad, though, I'm not warrantying it, because basically there was a week lag in between when I diagnosed and put a new heat coil on it and diagnosed a blocked tube. Because the first time I went over there to clear it out, I forgot my drill at home. I left it in a dryer. Sometimes I'll put it in a dryer when I'm in somebody's house to take it out of the house. So I'm taking a dryer and my tools. I just put my tools in the dryer. Well, I forgot, and I left it in there. And so basically I left it at home. So I need to go buy I need to have 2 of everything in the car, so that if I do that again, I'll have my tools, you know. But basically, I start brushing it. Yeah, I'm not going to warranty it if it goes bad again, because they used it in that week. I went over there and asked him, I'm like, so have you guys been using it? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, well, it's just going to break it again. I'm like, you know, I'm not going to warranty it next time, like, because you can't use it with no airflow, you know, because the problem is the heat coil will just stay hot, and then it bends. And, you know, once that happens, then it reaches over and touches the case, and then, you know, it's just, at that point, it's just broken. It's just going to run the whole time. It's going to run hot. You know, so I'm just not going to be able to warranty it again. But, hey, look, I found an echo log.
You have to do it.
Look, I'm flattered, Conway. I really am. But I'm not the right choice.
Everyone else disagrees. Myself included. You're not saying we're all wrong, right?
Well, I mean, no. But
You got us through the cataclysm rush. Your hand reached out to those trapped and pulled them free. Your smiling face kept them in good spirits as they healed.
I wasn't the only person helping.
No, but you were the one we looked to. The one we're still looking to now. Nobody is saying you have to be perfect. You just have to be you.
Then I guess I better get baking. Can't have people listening to my first speech with empty stomachs.
So yeah, so I start brushing the thing, and it's like this. It's basically like this brush that connects to your drill, and then your drill just kind of spins it inside the wall or inside the vent tube or whatever. And so I'm brushing it, and like the drill is like entangling the like the rods. Like you screw these rods together. So the brush has a rod, and then you screw a rod to it, and it makes it longer, right? And then it goes in, then another rod, and another rod, and another rod, and like the thing's like 40 feet long eventually or whatever, right? So. But the problem is the way I was doing it is the rod at the back would like whip around and get tied in a knot, because they're not really like rods, they're like kind of flexible. They got to go around corners and stuff inside the tube, so they're flexible enough for that. But so you want to go in the righty tighty direction, and then the rods won't unscrew, right? Well, as I'm doing that, and this thing whips around and ties itself in a knot, well, I just put the drill in reverse and untie the knot. And I did that about 5 times, because I don't know what I'm doing. And maybe the 6th time or so, I unscrew one of the rods inside the wall. So, like, I pulled the drill out, and there's three rods on the drill. The rest of it's in there. And I'm just like, oh, crap. The brush is in there, and a bunch of rods are in there. So, like, now I've created a clog with my brush, right? And so, like, I tell the dude, I'm like, oh, crap. He's like, what? I'm like, I got it stuck in there. So, he's not, like, freaking out or anything. I don't even know if he cares. Like, the whole time I'm doing this, I don't even know if he cares if I even clear this vent or what. I mean, but I'm like, we got to do it or else, this just isn't going to work. So I start like trying to jam, some other brushes and stuff that came with it through there. And basically that's not really working. In that process though, I did finally clear the clog. So finally I got the clog cleared, and like I get the brush all the way out the other end, and I'm trying to like tape things to the rods that I do have to kind of like pull it through and grab the brush that's stuck in there and pull it out, but none of that's working. So, if anybody's ever listened to this that has this problem, I'll tell you how I solved it. There's a U-shaped metal tool that it's kind of looks like this that you stick on the rod. It's a lot smaller than this, but basically what I did is I'm like, well, I'm just going to destroy the brush with this metal tool, and I'll get it out that way. And so, because like I don't care about the brush at this point, but I don't want to leave anything in that tube to just clog more lint, especially a brush that's the same size as the tube, So I stuck that in there, and I basically just started running it, and it grabbed the rod. I don't even know how it worked exactly because it's in the wall, but I feel like it grabbed the rod. And basically, because as it's turning, it has like these little like splines on the end, and I think it grabbed the rod that was stuck in there, and then I kind of like yanked it down while I was spinning, because I could just kind of feel it grab something. And I started pulling it down, and it held on to it and pulled it down and out to where I could reach up in there and grab the rod and pull the brush out. So apparently that's how you clear it if that happens to you. Which is good to know. I might, in the future too, I might tape each individual screw joint as it goes in or something. Or no, what my brother said was you hook some string to the brush. That's what he said he saw somebody do. Hook some string to the brush as it goes in. But I don't know how they're keeping that from getting just completely like wound up in the rod as it goes in. I don't know. Maybe it does. But then you can pull it back out or something. I don't know. I think I need I think what I want to do is get a long, like borescope. I don't know if they have any that are that long. I mean, I'm sure they do, but I think that's what I want next is a borescope and a flow meter for this type of work so that I can stick a camera in there and see, what is going on exactly. Okay, so I don't know what mission we want to do. There's a Rift Champion thing down here. Like I was hanging out down here. I think I did a lot of stuff in this area. Scrap core down here. I don't know what this is. Vault fragment down in there. The story mission is clear over here though. Like I don't know if I want to go back do the story mission once real quick. Is there a fast travel over here? I thought that we made one, but I don't see one anywhere. Because I thought that we claim silo to unlock fast travel. Didn't we get like a base over here somewhere? Like a safe house? There we go. No, that's still not unlocked. Because it was way over there. Sorry, I still can't breathe right. Yeah, so anyway, I got the brush out, I put the washer in, we cleared the clog, like it was way clear now and blowing the flaps on the end of it up. So, I felt like it was good, a lot better than what he started with, right? So, and hopefully they're happy with their new washer. I haven't looked at their old washer yet to see what the deal is with that. I can fast travel to this fortress. The fortress of Idolator Soul. Well, this is the safe house. Okay, I can fast travel to that. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was right here. Let's maybe go do this story mission, I guess. But anyways, I don't know how much I'm going to play today. I got a lot of videos edited last week. And so I think I still have most of this week's uploads edited and uploaded. So they just come out like once a day. But it's a lot of work to get all this stuff together here. How come there's just like bad guys over here? Or is there just always... I don't know. I'm going to go down and, before I go out there, I'm going to go sell off whatever guns I have.
For sale, baby shield, never worn.
Yeah, so I have that
I'll
one,
buy it at a
that
high
one.
price. But see, that wasn't so bad now, was it?
So anyways, I don't know. Like today I got this washer I got to go try to diagnose. Hopefully it's like a lid lock switch or something stupid like that, because I'm not very good with washers. I really need to fix some washers. There's some outside, that I've got here that I think what I'm going to do is I probably can't make any money on them, but I think I'm just going to make a concerted effort to fix them anyways and make no money just to get the experience. I think what I need to do for a while is just fix every washer I get, because no matter what's wrong with it, just to get the experience. I mean, other than like some things that are like, if it's like $300, I just really can't, I can't fix it and be losing that money. But if I'm like breaking even, if I can just like break even, then I think I just need to do it. And then, maybe I can get some some delivery money or something off of it, but because basically the problem that I have is I have this customer that I sold them a dryer, and then I did an inspection on their other dryer. It's a duplex. So the owner lives on one side and the tenant lives on the other side. And now, we got a dryer for the tenant, and they got a washer from somebody else, and it's broken already. So it's been in there about a month, and it's no longer working. You know, which happens. So I'm hoping that it'll be pretty easy. Oh, is this like a cryo gun? Hopefully it's just like a lid switch, you know, but I mean, I don't know what else it would be because it's just not running. I guess the timer or the motor or something, but I don't know, you know, and you never know what it means. They say it's not running. What does that mean? Like he said, it's not draining water. And like this guy too, he will only call me. Like all my other customers, I can just text, but I can tell this guy just hates texting. And it's like always so awkward. Like I don't know how to talk on the phone. He doesn't know how to talk on the phone. I don't use my actual like T-Mobile phone for this business. I have like a cheap text phone number for a lot of reasons, because I text and call a lot of people every week, you know, obviously. So I'm supposed to be going in here. I don't know. Looks like it's kind of off this cliff. So anyways, are these like ships? Like, look, this kind of looks like a ship. This one really looks like a ship. So so that's what I do basically, is I just, I text and call all the appliance people on this. It's kind of like a Google Voice number or something, but this guy will not text. And the thing is with text is that I don't have to remember, like I can just have this whole conversation basically sitting in there of what happened, what we did. I can have all of the information. When we talk on the phone, I don't get that. It's like, and so yeah, then I have to remember what happened. But he's a really nice guy. He's a good guy. So I'm rolling with it. So a lot of people will not listen, and they'll just call me over and over again, and they're bugging me, and so I don't deal with them anymore. I literally just I'm like, I can't deal with you and the phone calls because it's just too much. Like, we're gonna call, right? And we're on the phone, and I'm like, okay, well, you're gonna have to text me a picture of the machine, right? Like, I don't need to talk to you about this. It just needs to be very simple. Like, text me a picture of the machine. You send me a picture of the machine. What time is good? You know what I mean? Like, that's it. That's all we need. We don't need to just talk about it for 15 minutes. We just need what time and a picture. And then I can do my research, be over there, because I can't tell, if you say it's not draining, all right, so maybe just a pump, right? We can do that. We can slap a pump on it. But, maybe the timer's bad. And if the timer's bad, then what? Like, I don't know how much these timers are. I have no experience with them. If the timer's bad, I'm going to have to figure out how to test it. And that's the one thing that they're getting out of me, though, is that I don't move until I know. So if I don't know something's bad, it's a little shocky, then I don't do anything. That's how I work. So, I got the dryer. I don't know if I think I talked about this on here, but there's this dryer I went and diagnosed for this dude, and he had put a new heat element in it and all the new thermostats and all that stuff, and he did a really good job. But what are you doing, dude? Is that like a thing? Hello? But the problem is that it wasn't the heat element, so he didn't test it. You know, I go over there and I'm like thinking, well, maybe the circuit board's bad. I've never had a bad circuit board on one of these machines, so I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that. But I test the circuit board. So first obviously I test the heat element. Sometimes, stuff can come bad from Amazon or whatever. It is what it is. It's the world we live in now. Quality control is down the tubes. But I'm testing it, and I'm like, okay, everything tests good here. Like, maybe you have a bad circuit board. I brought a similar dryer with me to see if, like, we could swap circuit boards. It's kind of an easy way to test them, because circuit boards are hard to test. So, but I have my ways, so I test the relay on the board, and it's triggering. We can hear it clicking. I can use the meter to see that it is actually connecting. So I'm like, well, I don't think it's your circuit board either. Like everything, a lot of times when circuit boards die, the buttons won't work right and stuff like that. So you can kind of get an idea when it's the circuit board. So I'm like, there's something else going on. I said, you must have a bad wire harness, because the motor's turning. Circuit board seems fine, and we're getting no power to the heat element. I jumped the door switch. I have an extra door switch, and I just put a clamp on it and I plug it in. So don't do that, by the way. It's a good way to die. So I'm like, and I was able to see that the heat element never gets power, even though the relay's cooking. So I start following the wires, and like his motor plug is like melted and burned off, and the wires are burned off. So he just ends up getting his mom happened to have an extra dryer. So he's like, I'm just going to go see about that dryer, and I'll probably get that, and you can have this one or whatever. And so I'm going up this thing backwards. See that arrow? But so I got him. He got that dryer. I got this one. So now I have this dryer with new parts in it. I'm just going to put a plug on it, a motor plug, and run it and see what happens. Because I think it's probably going to be good. I think I need these crutches. Oh, I can't do it in the air. What the F, yo? Oh, there we go. I guess I gotta land them on the ground. So anyways, I freaking... You leveled up. So I got that one. And I'm like, dude, I could totally just put a new thinger on this thinger. And he's like, no, I'm good. Thanks, brosif. No, none of that happened. But, I'm just like, I think I can put a new plug on here and just butt connect it on. And what sucks too is I had that wire harness on a machine that I junked like a month ago. And he's like, no, I'm good. I'm like, all right. Well, either way, if I don't do that, I'll pull out the heat element and the motor and stuff, and sometimes those motors go bad. I mean, I've had it happen once or twice, but the Samsung motors, it's not that often, but if nothing else, I want to start my scrapping. I want to be a full blown scrapper. So I got a wire stripper, and I pulled it out and used it once, and it was really hard. So I've got to mount it to a table or something, because it's just not like you can't just kind of hold it. It just wants to torque itself over. So got to mount it to a bench or something. But I'm basically gonna, one of these days, I'm gonna get that going, and then I'm gonna teach my kids how to do it. You know what I mean? Get that like cheap labor, free labor, right? Make them start earning their keep. Learn how to work, boy, right? get them working. That's like half the reason I'm still doing this business anyways, is because I just need to like be able to teach my kids work ethic. And my work won't let me bring my kids to work. You know what I mean? You know, like back in the day, you could bring your kids to work.
I hope the entrance wasn't too obvious. I'd prefer to have this lab stay hidden. Keep going. I've deactivated any traps and the more intrusive scans.
Anyways, you know what I'm saying though? It's like what am I supposed to do? I got these kids and they need to learn how to work. I can only teach them so much on the yard and crap like that. You know, it's like I think about it, and you know, a lot of the ways that I learned how to work was like through my dad's business. But you know, yeah, I think that you know, you lose something with apprenticeships. Like I get going to school, you know, and that kind of stuff, but I can't even spell piss right. You know, that's all fine and good, and you can, you know, learn. There's lots of ways to learn, but experience, I feel like, is the best way to learn. When the stuff is right in front of you, and you can just, you know, really see and hammer on it. You know what I mean? Then you're gonna learn a lot better and easier, I feel like. But you know, you can read it in a book. It doesn't make sense until it's like right there in your hands, and you know you're doing the stuff. Like, so anyways, but I got a bunch of wire that I've already pulled off. I try to get the plastic off it, the coating off it or whatever, and
I love this part.
get these kids getting some scrap money. You know, they want a PS5. Oh, like the oldest one does. And I'm like, well, go earn some money. You know, I'll get this scrap setup going. Same thing with some of these motors. They have a lot of copper wire in them. I feel like we could, you know, my brother says that he watches people do this, and they can they get like an air chisel, and they can chisel off the wire pretty quick and easy. And you know, that stuff's like $3 or $4 a pound scrap. So if it's clean or whatever. So, you know, I don't know. It's not. It's just secondary. It's not really, you know, primary kind of money, right? But auto turret. What are we auto turreting? There we go. We made it.
Excuse the chaos in here. I don't get much company. In fact, you're the first person I've spoken to in a great while who wasn't trying to kill or control me. Yes, I accept.
What?
Sorry. I have lately felt the need to skip complexities. Time is not infinite, as it turns out. I am agreeing to assist your Crimson Resistance. You see, I also want to free this planet. The Timekeeper's control is not absolute, but it can only be broken when strength and willpower combine. Neither of us will succeed on our own. I can be the brains to your brawn.
Oh, hell yeah, I hate thinking. This is ideal for me.
Now, we have quite the task ahead of ourselves. Specifically, gaining direct access to the Timekeeper. It's harder than you might think. After the chaos of the Invader Moon's appearance, the Timekeeper sealed the walls of the city around him. He never strays from the threshold of the vault within his tower. The only way inside requires 3 powerful command bolts. They're a bit different from what you've got in your neck. He gave them to his trusted commanders, Idolater Soul, Violictor, and Callus. Though, she's a bit more complicated. Once we have the 3 command bolts, I should be able to use their combined security clearances to gain access to the Timekeeper's tower. Saul, you've met. He's a sniveling sycophant ruled by emotion, but still quite dangerous. The Timekeeper commanded him to bring the Fade Fields to heal, and he is eager to please. To the north, the Terminus mountain range is overseen by a cruel scientist named Vile Lictor. Highly intelligent, alarmingly ambitious. So much so that he betrayed his own people for a chance to rule and carry out his experimental research with impunity. Finally, Callus. She was once the Timekeeper's strongest and most loyal commander, until the Moonfall. Now she's a monster of a different shape, the self-styled Ripper Queen. Her fanatical horde, which you've no doubt encountered already, masses in the ruins of Carcadia Burn to the west.
They all sound fun.
We'll need all 3 command bolts before facing the Timekeeper. You can tackle each one at your pleasure. I've uploaded your Echo 4 with backdoor security codes, which should get you through any order checkpoints out of the Fade Fields. Kairos lies open to you.
This is a big ask. I need to know I can trust you.
You can. My absolution depends on it.
Alright. I guess I gotta go kill... Oh yeah, I think I leveled up too. I guess I gotta go kill those 3 guys. What do we got? We got a skill point. Looks like we were working on this side over here. I don't know. If I want to do one of these. What is this? Vex gains a stack of ancient rights for each of her active minions every second, increasing minion damage. Okay, what is this one? Maximum health capacity. Reapers gain maximum health capacity and will release a spirit bomb remnant when they die, dealing damage of their elemental type to nearby enemies. That seems pretty good. What is this? Whenever Vex takes damage while at low health, spawn a Reaper nearby. I don't know what that means. Do I have to spawn it nearby or do they? Alright. What happens if we do one of these? Like, do we need to do all 3 or what? Yeah, to get to this, I've got to do this one. Looks like that one, I don't know. Let's just do this. Okay. Okay, so now we have a fast travel here as well. What else do we got in here? Do we have any other machines? Like, I know I saw these machines. Like where I can sell guns and stuff.
I got the sales for what ails you.
Let's see what do we have in here anyways we need to sell. I still don't think I want to do that. Yeah,
You
not
want this
that.
back? You just let me know. This here's a beauty.
No.
That'll look mighty fine on my shelves.
No.
No takebacks. Unless you really wanna, I guess.
No.
I'll buy it at a high price.
No.
Well, you sanitized this, right? You done with this? You
Yeah.
think I might have sold this same thing? You and your wallet are welcome.
talk to Zadra.
Vault Hunter, shall we give your outbounder friends a call? Ready to continue? In the Fade Fields, Saul is our focus. Contacting the outbounders now.
Conway, this is the third time the hot singles claiming to be nearby weren't actually... Oh, hi.
Rush, Zadra. Zadra, Rush.
It's a pleasure. So, Zadra, what could you tell us about Locust?
Nothing.
Off to a rough start.
But that alone tells us something. It must be relatively new, and he's not getting help from Dominion. There's only one installation in the Fade Fields with the requirements necessary to develop a bioweapon. Saul's production facility. It's not far from here.
Then that's our focus. Way to go, team.
You know what the Timekeeper used to call Vault Hunters? Rule-breaking, loot-taking, running and gunning natural disasters.
Watching you work, I tend to agree.
Some of my past partners said the same thing.
I'm like, I thought there was a fast travel right there, but I just... Okay, so it is there. I don't know if we can do that mine that's over there, too. I don't know what the dealio is with this. Can I ride this up? I guess I can ride this up. Yeah. So anyways, it's like, I don't know.
Well, Conway's disappointed Zadra isn't an actual vampire. Honestly, she just has me confused. She seems happy to work together now. But why not before? Why play hermit when we could have used the support? Stick with this plan for now. I'm gonna do some digging on this lady.
Battery's low. But yeah, I don't know. I might have to do this tonight. So I probably need to go start working, start editing. Start yeah, 6:30. Start editing some more videos and getting them out. I need to get all that caught up, and then I don't know, go investigate this washing machine. I told the dude, I'm like, you know, I'm not that good with washing machines. I'm like, I'll see what I can figure out, but you know, like obviously if it's a lid switch, that's easy to diagnose and get. Now the weird thing about this too is that the picture he sent me has like the GFCI outlet behind the washer, but it's got a red light on it. Now, like, I don't know how this one works, and usually red light means fault. So I text the dude and I'm like, well, did you tell him to try to like reset that GFCI outlet. And he's like, yeah, they tried that. And I wonder if it's tripping it again. If it has a bad motor or a bad capacitor, I don't know if it has a capacitor or not. But if it has a bad motor or capacitor, that could be bad too. I don't even know how to test a capacitor, and I don't have any to put on there. I guess it's time to learn. So maybe what I'll do is I'll learn on this job and not charge them very much. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. Is like if I don't know something, I'm learning it as I go. And these people, they don't have a guy. Like they don't have an appliance guy. That's what's really working about how I'm gaining these customers. Is like they're just used to buying used machines. They just buy used machines, and then when it breaks, they throw that one away and buy another used machine and continue. But they're, now I'm becoming their guy for that and, whatever else. The problem is I don't have a working washer right now to sell them if I can't get this one working. So probably what I'm going to do is if I can't get it working today, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to get a washer working because I do have some out there that I have some ideas on how I'm going to get them to work. Like I basically have two machines that one of them has a bad computer and the other one has a bad drum. So if I can take the good drum, and put it into the good computer, right? And I mean, you would think that I would do that the other way, like put the computer into the other machine, but it's just not going to work out that way. I basically have to redo the whole harness because near the top where the thing connects isn't the same plugs. So I'm just going to have to swap the whole drum over, is what I'm going to have to do, and maybe take all the motor and everything off of the one and put out. Anyways, it's just going to be a lot. I don't know why they can't just make stuff easy, but they don't. So, but yeah, anyway, so maybe I'll get that work and sell them that tomorrow or something instead if I can't get this thing going. But anyways, wish me luck and bye.